Welcome and good afternoon. This is Commissioner, and today we are ready for Game 4 of the World Series for my Pops League Season 2 using Payoff Pitch Baseball. This is a Hall of Fame league, and we have two Hall of Fame teams, one American, one National League Hall of Fame team, ready to go here. If you haven't seen games 1, 2, or 3, go check those. Take a minute to go check those out first. Very surprising games. Game 1, just a little recap. Game 1 saw Houston hold off a comeback by Boston and score in the 8th inning to take a 7-6 win in Game 1. Game 2, though, Boston got their revenge. This was at Fenway Park, and they topped Houston 7-2. But then the series headed to Houston at the Astrodome, and Houston laid the smackdown on Boston in Game 3. 11-2, I believe. Let's take a look. Yeah, 11-2. As Roy Halladay could not get an out in the 3rd inning, literally. 8 straight base runners. Couldn't get an out. And so he lasts just 2 innings before having to get removed from that game. And so Houston takes Game 3, 11-2, which brings us to Game 4. By the way, if you want to follow all this action, you can head over to baseballmaelstrom.com to follow the action. Keep up on the scores, the stats, all that fun stuff. Game 4 is a rematch between the Game 1 starters. Let's take a look at the starting lineups once again. Leading off for Boston in right field is Ichiro Suzuki. Alan Trammell batting second at shortstop. George Brett batting third at third base. Ted Williams not DHing, but batting in the cleanup spot at left field. Frank Thomas is DHing, batting fifth. Mule Settles batting sixth at first base. Mickey Mantle batting seventh in center field. Nellie Fox batting 8th at second base, and Carlton Fisk catching today. And on the mound, as I said, Game 1 starter, Bert Blyleven. Blyleven did not last as many innings as they wanted out of him in Game 1. I think just 3 innings. And so they're hoping to get more from him today. Houston. Let's take a look at the Houston lineup. Leading off once again, Tim Raines in left field. Honus Wagner at shortstop batting second. Oscar Charleston in center field batting third. Jeff Bagwell in the cleanup spot at first base. Willie Stargell DHing and batting fifth. Paul Wainer batting sixth in right field. Rogers Hornsby batting seventh at second base. Ernie Lombardi is catching and batting eighth. And Eddie Matthews is at third base and batting ninth. And on the mound for Houston is their Game 1 starter, Juan Marichal. Marichal, I think, lasted 5 innings, but still, again, not as many as they would have hoped from him, as it was an offensive game, 7-6 in Game 1. So what will happen here? Well, Boston's hoping to tie this series today. And Houston, on the other hand, is looking to get closer to putting this one away. As we're playing in the 1994 version of the Astrodome, by the way, if you're curious. And we are ready to go here. Leading off, Ichiro Suzuki. In play, 54, and Ichiro grounds this one to Bagwell. An easy first out here. Ichiro, by the way, hitting 400 coming into this game in the first 3 games. Alan Trammell. That's going to be another in play, but Trammell hits one into the corner and it bounces around. He's around second, heading for third. Raines with the throw to third, but it will not be in time. Trammell is safe with a triple. Boston has found a way to score in the first inning in almost every one of these games. That brings up George Brett. They'll play in here. In play 15, and it won't matter as that's a base hit. George Brett hitting 600 in the series, 6 for 10. And he drives in another first inning run here for Boston. Ted Williams. In play 19, that's going to be another single, this time to left. And single first to third and left in play. Okay, he's going to hold it second. Oh, actually he's not, because of this. So, left, 1-2 left, 3-4 center, 5-6 right. That's what that number means for me. That's how I play it. So that's hit to Raines, who has an arm of 6. Brett has a speed of 7. So we are going to see 6. So that means we got to roll on the chart. That means we got to roll on the chart. Is the chart here? I got to remember where I put the chart, folks. Okay, I did not put it there. All right. Let's take a look. Oh, it's here. Coach's choice. All right. Oh, no, it is equal to or less than both. Okay. Okay. So, it is equal to or less than both, so he'll get to third on the single. Didn't need to roll on the chart. All right, so we have first and third and just one out. And they're going to play straight up, hoping for the double play ball here from Frank Thomas. And it's a tough 88. They get the grounder to short, but a 10 is too high, and their only play actually is to first base. So that's going to score Brett. That's a 2-0 lead now for Boston. And Williams advances on the play as Wagner had to knock it down and had no chance to even get Williams at second. So they get the sure out at first. Now there's 2 outs. Williams at second. Suttles. It's a tough 54, and this is another one down into the same corner. And Suttles will beat the throw from Raines by even a little bit more, and Boston has taken a 3-0 lead here in the first inning. And they're still threatening. Mantle, tough 7, struck him out. Marichal strikes out Mantle to end the inning, but not before Boston takes a 3-0 lead here, which is what they needed to do after the 11-2 loss yesterday. They jump out early, and so Bert Blyleven gets a little bit of breathing room heading into the bottom of the first. Tim Raines. Tough 94. Raines flies this one to right. Near the foul line, Suzuki will be there for out number 1. And that's a tough 86. Wagner grounds this one on the to short. Trammell up and over. Up with it and over to first. 2 down. Oscar Charleston. In play 25, and that's a base hit, a 2-out single here for Charleston, who is hitting now .429 in the series. He does not attempt to steal here. And Jeff Bagwell steps to the plate. Bagwell just hitting 200, 2 for 10. But a dangerous hitter. Tough 52, and that's going to be a 2-out single here for Bagwell. To left. Let's see, first to third. 2 outs. 8 or above. And so Charleston will make it to third on the base hit. So Houston threatening. Runners on the corners. Willie Stargell. Stargell 1 for 6 with a couple of walks. Hoping for something here. And he struck him out. Blyleven strikes out Stargell to get out of the jam and keep Houston scoreless here in the first inning. Marichal faces Fox Fisk in the top of the order. In play 85, and Fox grounds this one to second. Hornsby with the easy play to first. Bagwell gloves it, and that's out number 1. Carlton Fisk. Tough 56, and he's down in the count, but slaps one in for a single here. He won't look to get a lead, and that brings up Ichiro. 1 on and 1 out for Ichiro here. Patient 64. Ichiro not a very patient hitter. And he lines this one to left. Reigns in on it. Makes the catch. Couple of triples today down in that corner. And Trammell now up with 2 outs. And that's a tough out. That's going to be the end of the inning. As Trammell pops this one up. Hornsby calls everybody off. And that'll be the 3rd out. So, bottom of the 2nd inning. Boston still up 3-0 here. Blyleven will face Wainer, Hornsby, and Lombardi. Tough 94, and Wainer will fly this one to right. Suzuki makes a running catch. Easy play, though. Out number 1. Hornsby. Ballpark. 68 is an in play. 14 is a base hit. Hornsby with the single here. Hornsby, by the way, now 6 for 10 in the series. So his jump rating would be a 3 here, so he stays put. And Ernie Lombardi. Lombardi 4 for 8, surprisingly. Didn't hit that well in the regular season, but in play 92, he lines this one to left. Williams will be there. 2 down. Eddie Matthews. Another in play, 72, and that will end the inning as Matthews skies one to center field. Mantle ranges back near the warning track and hauls it in for out number 3. We had the top of the 3rd. Boston still with that 3-0 lead. Heart of the order here. Brett, Williams, and Thomas. And patient 58. That is going to be yet another triple. This time into the right field corner. The 3rd triple today for Boston. As Brett beats the throw to 3rd. And they're going to actually just play straight up at this point. In play 18. It won't matter anyway as Williams slaps one in for a base hit. Boston increases their lead to 4-0. Brings up Frank Thomas. In play 92. And that's going to be a double play ball. Wagner flips to Hornsby, over to Bagwell, and that's a 6-4-3 double play, which is just what Marichal needed. So that clears the bases and brings up Mule Suttles here with 2 out. Tough 27, and he struck him out. So Boston gets one more run with yet another triple. They take a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the 3rd. Blyleven facing the top of the order here. Starting with Reigns. Defense check, and that is a pop-up. Trammell calls everyone off. 1 down. Reigns, by the way, 0 for 16. Still looking for his first hit. Honus Wagner is an in-play 85, and Wagner grounds this one to short. Trammell over to first. 2 down. Houston's making this way too easy here. Tough 5, and he struck out Charleston. 1-2-3 inning here for Blyleven. We head to the top of the 4th. 4-0 still for Boston. Bottom of the order. Mickey Mantle. Tough 69. Ooh, just past the range here. And Mantle hits one to Raines. Raines comes in on it a little bit, and he's there for the catch. Nellie Fox. In play 66. Fox grounds this one towards the hole. Wagner up with it over to first. Pretty good play there by Wagner. 2 quick outs. Fisk is hitting .417 in the series so far. Tough 30 inning, struck him out. A 1-2-3 inning here. The first 1-2-3 inning, by the way, for Marichal. And we head to the bottom of the 4th. Blyleven facing the heart of the order. Bagwell and Stargell, and then Wayner. Patient, 22, and Bagwell draws a walk here. A leadoff walk for Bagwell. And 4-7-45. 4-7, and Bagwell's going to try to steal here. Hey, I have to go by my auto manager here, folks. Got to go by the auto manager. Bagwell trying to get something going. B1-35 is not going to be good for Bagwell. B1. And he gets gunned down by Fisk. By the way, I think I mentioned this, but Houston was only caught stealing. I think they had 27 steals and only 1 caught stealing in the season. It's a 54-game season. So they don't get caught very often. So we can understand why Bagwell may have thought to put himself in scoring position, but a silly play there by Bagwell. Now there's nobody on and 1 out. And Stargell strikes out. Second strikeout for Stargell, third for Blyleven. Now there's 2 outs. And that brings Wayner to the plate. And Wayner, 13, tough 13. And that's going to be a double into the gap. Ichiro with the throw, but Wayner's going to beat it to second. 2-out double here for Wayner, and now the play by Bagwell seems even sillier because he may have scored on that play. Probably would have. Hornsby trying to get some runs on the board. And he's not going to do it as he flies this one to left. Williams there to make the play. And so Houston with an opportunity, but maybe a base running mistake there by Bagwell. We head to the top of the 5th. Boston's still up 4-0. Top of the order. In play 15, and that's going to be a base hit for Ichiro. A leadoff single. Steal would be a 7, or jump would be a 7, so not going to go for it here, and Trammell will step to the plate. Trammell with the triple in the first inning. Defense check. That is not going to be a defense, or an error. 89, and he lines this one right to Wagner. 1 down. Brings up George Brett. Brett is 8 for 12 and 3 walks, folks. He's been on base a lot in these games. Tough 87. Not this time, as he grounds this one right to Hornsby. Hornsby flips to Wagner. Wagner over to Bagwell, and that'll end the inning. 4-6-3. So once again, a double play helps out Marichal here. Head to the bottom of the 5th. Houston still looking for their first run. Blyleven facing Lombardi. Tough 15, and Lombardi slaps one in for a base hit. A leadoff single here in the 5th. He doesn't steal at all. And Eddie Matthews will step up to the plate. In play 2. Oh my gosh. Look at that. This time it's Matthews hitting one to right field, and it takes a weird bounce off the wall. And Ichiro will track it down. He throws one to third, but Matthews will be into third with a triple, and that will be the first run for Houston. 4-1 game now. Matthews doesn't get very many triples, but got one there. Yeah, in play too. Wow. We get to the top of the order here with Tim Raines. They're just going to play straight up with a lead. In play, well, 31. Okay, no wild pitch. 31, and that will be Raines' first base hit of the series. A liner into right center. And it's a 4-2 ball game. Raines will have a jump of 5, 5, 7, 15, 5, 7, 15, and he will get the lead, get a jump. A1, 99, and he's going to be into second easily, I believe. A1, 99. Oh, yeah. So Raines with the stolen base here puts himself in scoring position. And Blyleven now just trying to get some outs. Honus Wagner. Patient, 83. Well, it's going to be beyond the patient range here, which is good. It's a good thing that Raines did that because this would have been a double play ball. Instead, it's hit to Trammell. Let's see. Ground ball advanced to third, and it's hit to short, 7 or above, which Raines has a high speed, so he's sits there for a second. Trammell with the throw, but Raines actually will advance to third on the play. Taking advantage of his speed there. And that will bring up Oscar Charleston. With Raines' speed, they don't expect they'd be able to throw him out anyway, so they're just going to play straight up here. Hope to get out of this inning. In play, 86. Oh, that's hit to second anyway, so likely Raines would have scored anyway. And sure enough, it is a 4-3 ball game now. But there's nobody on base and 2 outs. And Jeff Bagwell steps up. Tough 76. That'll be the end of the inning. Bagwell will hit this one to center, and Mantle is back a little bit, but he has room. And suddenly we have a ball game again. 4-3 heading into the 6th inning. Marichal facing Williams, Thomas, and Suttles. Tough 86. And Williams lines this one to center. Charleston on the run, and he makes the grab for the first out. Frank Thomas. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Ballpark. 44. Wheelhouse. 35. And that is way back and deep and gone. It's out of here. Home run for Frank Thomas. Thomas now just 2 for 12, but a big one there as it gives them a little bit more breathing room here in the 6th inning. Mule Suttles in play 20, and that's another base hit. Single here for Suttles, and he will take a look with the 3 jump. 3, 8, no, 96. That most assuredly is not going to, no, not even close. So he doesn't try to get a jump here. And Mantle, there is activity in the Houston bullpen. In play 71. And once again, Mantle flies this one to Raines. Mantle 2 for 14 now. Nellie Fox, 1 on and 2 out. Patient, 71, and that's too high for him, so Fox grounds this one to short. Wagner will throw over to first for the third out. We head to the bottom of the sixth. Blyleven will face Stargell, Wainer, and Hornsby. Defense check. Right field error, and Ichiro has a 5 error rating. Shallow fly by Stargell. Ichiro on the run and makes a sliding catch. Great play by Ichiro here. Not too many guys would have gotten to that. Wainer. He had the double in the last at bat, and that's going to be another double. In play 5. This one down the line. And he's into second standing up. So Hornsby with a chance to get that run back. Patient, 89. Wow. Almost. Look at that. 89. Just passes hit by pitch range. And that's going to be a grounder to short. Wainer, again, with great speed. Trammell's only play is to first, and Wainer will actually advance to third on the play. He was running with the swing. Lerny Lombardi. In play 10, and that's a base hit. Lombardi with the RBI single here gets that run back. It's now a 5-4 ball game. Clutch hitting there by Lombardi. Eddie Matthews hoping to keep this going. In play 22, but not going to happen. His in play is very bad. Pops this one up on the infield. Fox calls everyone off. And that will end the inning, but things are interesting here. 5-4 ball game. By the way, if you're wondering, shouldn't Marichal be tired by now? Yeah, because what is it? 5 runs? 5 runs, is that what it is? Oh, where are you? Pitcher stamina. Okay, so he's not allowed 3 or more runs in his inning. That's fine. Oh, okay. Anytime a pitcher allows 6 or more runs, he's considered fatigued. Okay. So, he's fine. He isn't allowed 6 yet. And so he'll face Fisk and then the top of the order. In play, 79. And that is going to be a fly ball to center. Charleston with the play. And easy play, actually. 1 down. Top of the order, Ichiro. Ichiro, I think, has gotten 2 hits in every game so far. In play 88, okay, and he grounds this one to second. Hornsby, easy play to first. 2 down. Trammell. In play 58. Ground ball down the line. Matthews up with it and over to first. A 1-2-3 inning here in the 7th. It is time for the 7th inning stretch, and what a game we have here, folks. Boston, 5 runs on 10 hits and no errors. They had a 4-0 early lead into the 5th inning. Houston, 4 runs on 9 hits and no errors. And then Houston's come back here in the last couple of innings. Blyleven will face the top of the order. Tim Raines, who just got his first hit of the series in his last at-bat, an RBI single, and immediately stole second. Gets another shot here in the 7th inning. Struck him out. Blyleven not having any of it this time. Strikes out Raines here to lead off the 7th. Wagner. Tough, 41. And Wagner, behind the count, gets a base hit here. It's his first hit of the game. Oscar Charleston, hoping to continue this. In play 87. That's not going to do it. In fact, oh, Charleston's double play rating's only a 6. So 7's too high. Fox flips to Trammell, but that's all they can get, is they can't. Charleston beats the throw to first by a step or half a step. All right, 2 down. Charleston on first and brings up Bagwell. In play 22, that's going to be a base hit. A single to center. Charleston with plenty of speed. I'm sure he's going to go to third on this. First to third, center field, 2 outs, 7 or above. Yeah. So runners on the corners now. Houston really needs Stargell to come through in this one. Stargell 0 for 3 today. And only 1 hit in the series, 1 for 9. Tough 75, and that's not going to do it. Stargell flies this one to center. Mantle will be there. And Blyleven gets out of the jam. Houston had a real shot there to tie the game at least. But they come up short. We head to the 8th inning. By the way, fatigue of 9 for both these pitchers. So Marichal pitches into the 8th. Brett 2 for 3 today, but had that big double play to end the 5th. In play 83. And this time grounds one to second. Hornsby over to first. 1 out. Williams in play 90. Another in play. Wow, a lot of those. This is another ground ball to second. Hornsby getting some work there in this inning. Frank Thomas. Thomas with that big solo home run in his last at bat. And this time draws a 2-out walk. They haven't had as many walks today, have they? Normally they're walking all over the place, but today, that may be the first one. So Thomas with the 2-out walk. And Suttles, who's 2 for 3 today, trying to get another insurance run here. Tough 47. He struck him out. So that was likely the last pitch for Marichal. Ends it on a high note. And Blyleven now, also with the fatigue of 9, by the way, will face Wainer, Hornsby, and Lombardi. Activity in the bullpen, just in case they need it. Tough 30. And that's going to be a base hit, a leadoff single here. Wainer now 3 for 4, excuse me. Hornsby. Now, Hornsby would bunt on a 2, 3, or 4, by the way. Nope. In play 20. That's going to be another base hit. This time to right. Wainer has speed. First to third. Right. In play. 7 or above. Runners on the corners. No outs. And they might be done with Blyleven here. Let's see what they have. Let's see. Well, they don't want to gas Fingers. Trying to give him 6 outs in this game. Could bring in Eckersley. I would say that Blyleven's got to come out. He's allowed the first 2 base runners. He would have to come out after this inning anyway. So I believe they're going to go to Eckersley to try to bridge this gap. Eckersley, by the way, has had some rough times this season. And you can see why. He has 2 wheelhouse and a ballpark on a 9. It's kind of a scary card in that sense. But it's either him or Walter Johnson. Johnson blew the lead in their first game, I believe. He also has a ballpark on a 9, so I don't know if that's any better. Oops, wrong way. Wrong way. Yeah, I think they got to go with Eckersley. I mean, in real life, that's who they'd go with, right? All right, Eckersley's coming in. Infield's got to be in for this one. They really don't want that runner, Wayner, to score from third. And Lombardi, who has been clutch so many times, doesn't strike out a lot. That's the other key thing for him. Actually, they'll bring the corners in because if it's hit to second or short, it won't matter anyway, right? And I know payoff pitch. I'm probably going against the rules a little bit here, but bear with me. Patient 64 wouldn't matter anyway. Well, I guess it would, because that's a grounder to second. But whoa, Lombardi, you hit into a lot of double plays, buddy. You hit into a lot of double plays. Normally a 10 or 11 or 12, the only plays to first, but because Lombardi's double play rating's a 10, I'm going to make an executive decision to say they get the lead runner at second, or not the lead runner, but they trying to turn two. They're not going to get it because Eckersley's double play rating is only a 6, but they'll at least get the runner at second. Now that's going to score Wayner, but that would have happened anyway with that 10 roll and a ball hit to second base in my brain. So the game is tied up. Houston has tied the game here in the 8th. Eckersley with the blown save. Sadly for Eckersley. And Lombardi's at first. Matthews is up at the plate. 1 down. Tough. Oh, boy. This is going to be a rare play. 73. 73. Runners on base. Tough. 73. Okay. Resolve using tough. Let's do that first. See what happens. So I'm just going to re-roll it. To resolve using tough. 21. Struck him out. So Eckersley strikes out Matthews. And I believe this says the next batters are going to also use their tough. The next 3 batters this pitcher faces will roll on their tough section. All right. So Raines will also be on his tough section. Tough 76. Raines doesn't strike out. He flies this one to center. And Mantle will get there. And that ends the inning, but not before Houston ties this game in the 8th inning. Claws their way back after being down 4-0. Marichal's done. Marichal is done. 8 innings, much better than the 5 he pitched in game 1. Now they need to turn this over, and they're going to turn it over to Trevor Hoffman. They're going to go with their trio, starting with Trevor Hoffman. All right. So Hoffman faces the bottom of the order, starting with Mantle, who they're not going to pinch hit for. Oh boy, look at that. Mantle clobbers this one. Look at that wheelhouse. 64. Look at that, folks. Mantle gets a hold of this one. It hits off the top of the wall. And they're going to actually review this one. 64. They're going to review it. Boston thinks it was a homer. No, it is not. Hit off the very top of the wall. And Mantle will get a double out of this, a leadoff double. Nellie Fox is 1 for 15 in this series. So Boston is probably going to pinch hit here. And they will. Wade Boggs. Wade Boggs will be pinch hitting for Nellie Fox here. Hoffman facing off against Boggs. And it doesn't get any better for Hoffman, as that is a ballpark. 35 is a wheelhouse, 63, and that's going to be another double. And just like that, Boston has taken a lead again, 6-5. Back-to-back doubles here. Fisk is hitting 357. They'll let him bat. Tough, 62. Oh, he almost had a base hit here, but instead flies this one to right. And Wainer will be there, and it's tough, so Boggs is not going to go anywhere. One down, back to the top of the order here, Ichiro. Tough. Well, 31. Okay, it's no wild pitch. Tough 31, and that's a base hit. Base hit to left. Once again, tough, so Boggs is not going to try to get home on this. But it's going to be first and third with one out. Hoffman has had a rough inning. Trammell steps up. Corners in. Tough 62. And it won't matter as this is a fly ball to right. Wainer will be there. Boggs with a tough roll. It's going to be a shallow enough. He's not going to risk it. So Houston has a chance to get out of this inning, but Hoffman will have to get his way through George Brett. Even up. And he struck him out. Brett does not strike out very often with a right-handed pitcher, but he did here. And so Hoffman recovers a little bit, but not before Boston takes a 6-5 lead. And now Fox must come out of the game because he was pinch hit for. And LeShui will come in. Oops. To play second. Yeah, I better. All right. I'm going to do this here. Got to do this here. Put him in the lineup. All right. Bottom of the ninth. And the pitcher will be... so Bert Blyleven went 7 innings. Eckersley pitched 1. Blew the save, but is in line for the win. And in comes Raleigh Fingers. Raleigh Fingers will come in to try to close the door on this one. Tie the series. He'll have to face Wagner, Charleston, and Bagwell here in the ninth. High drama here, folks. Houston has found ways to come back. They tied the game in the 8th, but they're facing Raleigh Fingers. Let's start with Wagner. Tough 93, and Wagner flies this one to left. Easy play for Williams. 1 down. One swing could tie the game. Charleston, tough 37. And that's going to be a base hit. Base hit for Charleston. Houston gets a base runner on. Charleston's the tying run. And here in the ninth, are they going to try to do it again? they make a silly base running mistake, I have to use the auto manager. And this 4 says, let's see, 5/8/28. That is going to be 5/8/28. Yep. I have to do it. I have to take it out of my hands. Charleston trying to get in scoring position here. B157. I believe he's going to get caught stealing. Barely. Houston, again, only got caught stealing one time in 54 games. But they've done it twice here in Game 4. As Charleston gets gunned down by Fisk. Bagwell now. Nobody on. 2 outs. And it probably wouldn't have mattered anyway. It wouldn't have been a double play, but still. Bagwell grounds this one to Trammell. And Trammell will be over to first with it. And that will end the game. Boston Splinters have tied the series at 2 games apiece. Boston, 6 runs on 13 hits and no errors. Houston, 5 runs on 14 hits and no errors. In a very, very close game. Now, Eckersley did have the blown save, but gets the win. Raleigh Fingers gets the save. And Trevor Hoffman gets the loss in this one. Wow. What a game, folks. I mean, Boggs with that clutch double. There were no outs, so it's quite possible Manta would have made it anyway, right? But I guess if we were to give, Williams is 2 for 4. George Brett was 2 for 5. Yeah. I know. I'll give it to Boggs because it was the go-ahead run in the 9th. Leave your comments down below. Tell me what you thought of that. A couple of boneheaded base running mistakes by Houston in this one. Again, they were only caught stealing, I think, once in the 54-game season. And they were caught stealing twice just in this game. Of course, Fisk with a very good arm. And who's to say that would have been any different? The outcome would have been any different, but Houston's got to be considering whether it would have been or not. Houston has got to be thinking about that. The dice gods were not smiling on Houston in those cases. Even though they fought their way back in this one, down 4-0 at one time. They scored 3 in the 5th. They scored another in the 6th after Boston scored a run in the 6th. Were able to tie it in the bottom of the 8th, only to lose it in the 9th. Wow, what a game. And so we will have Game 5 take place in Houston. Series is all tied up. All tied up at 2 games apiece. Anybody's series here, as we've assured that this series is going back to Boston. Series is going to go back to Boston, folks. But first, tomorrow we have one final game in the Astrodome. So, with all that said, as I mentioned before, head over to baseballmaelstrom.com if you want to follow the action. You can fill out box scores, score sheets, all that stuff, stats, all that stuff for all of my projects, actually. Go over and check out Game Pulse. It's the Payoff Pitch PC game. It's pretty good thing to check out. Go check that out if you're interested. And we will leave things here for now. Thanks again so much for watching, and until next time, have a great evening.